It's all about the money, all about the dum dum da da dum dum. I don't think it's funny to see us fade away. It's all about the money, all about the dum dum da da dum dum. And I think we got it all wrong anyway.
We put together a video to show you the kind of costs that are incurred by our students studying at University of the Arts London. These students are from a variety of courses from across the colleges. They're random interviews with random students so that we can really show you the kind of costs that our students are experiencing.
It's like a rip-off, seriously. I paid £100 and I've never seen anything from it.
We have to buy all the materials ourselves, so no paper, no kinds of vendors, but this is kind of expected. But for example, we're organizing our final show.
You have to pay like
you have to pay
like
£100 each. They want to charge £100 each student, which I think is a lot of money for 2 days of the show.
When I read the documentation the evening before, it said you might have to pay a materials fee of either 50, 100 or £150. I didn't realise it was compulsory. I didn't realise that if you didn't pay it on the day, you wouldn't be able to enrol. I haven't seen hardly any money from that materials fee yet. I'm a third of the way through my course. Yeah, I've had to pay for all of my own equipment, which didn't come out of that whatsoever. I spent a good, probably about £30, £40. I don't know if that answers your question, but £30, £40 of my own stuff, buying materials as in sort of set squares and architectural equipment, very, important stuff that I had to go to Covent Garden to get.
Well, when I started, I had to pay an extra £100, which they didn't explain. No, some people refused to pay it because they didn't have the money at the time.
In terms of, buying materials fees that pay every year. Well, I guess even today, this morning I went to the shop and bought 2 pens and it cost £5.
But if you want to buy the actual materials that you're going to use, you have to go buy them yourself.
It was like a one-off £50 thing that I paid at the start of the year. Not entirely sure what that went towards. But
it kind of required huge amounts of investment all throughout the degree, but especially towards the end of the degree show time, which wasn't really expressed at any point in the material.
You have to pay a materials fee, which is £100 every year, which we weren't really told about when we joined the course.
We have to pay our own materials and tools, so people can be paying hundreds of pounds.
You're going to be spending money on practical things to do your course with, whether it's pencils or books.
I paid about £600 on top of what I should have to get everything printed, and each project was about £100 at least.
One project can cost like £500.
Well, you get told that you visit this place and visit this place, because obviously it's good for your course and stuff like that, but it's costs money as well, especially if you want to go to a V&A show or something like that. Some shows are free, but some of them that you want to pay for, you do have to pay for, you don't get help with that. So.
But you have to buy sketchbooks and pencils and all equipment on top of that. The materials you only go to a school thing.
Yeah, like fabrics and equipment that they don't tell you about.
But my third year, in my final piece that I did was a print piece of work, and I actually paid £220 to get that printed myself.
So you had huge amounts of money on chemical wood, graphic prototyping, laser cutting, printed material, business cards, expenses for putting up the show, materials for doing that.
We make loads of mock-up models which take card and foam board and everything has to be presented in a certain way, which means A3 printouts, we have to pay for printing, and then that's not even getting to the final year show, which we have to pay for all models ourselves.
Magazines that we have to buy, that the lecturers will go on about.
But also we do 3 projects a year and we have to do a final model for each project, which can be made of metal, plastics or wood, and you have to pay for all those things on top of that as well.
But people who did pay printing were paying kind of £4,000 or £5,000.
It's like 10 grand or something for what we have to do.
You're not going to have much money anyway. So
My mum and dad and my job, that's it.
These extra costs have literally gone to my credit card.
This sort of student loan only really covers rent and food and stuff. The rest is just something like that, so if you're going to work in
my loan alone is not enough to pay for my whole sort of living costs arrangement.
You're gonna have to sacrifice either probably eating or material, so so you probably go for material just to pass your course.
They like people to do apprenticeships and work over work experience over the summer, but a lot of people can't because they just can't work for free.
Yes, I freelanced for 4 years whilst I was studying.
Student loan overdraft. I have to work to be able to pay for everything anyway.
I have a part-time job. I work 2 nights a week in a nightclub.
But, we have to deal with them because what are you gonna do? You're not gonna pay it? No, you have to still pay it.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, I think they should say that you should put aside and plan your finances for...
Yeah, they should tell everyone how much they have to pay for each, like printing and other different materials.
It's not like we're asking the course to be any cheaper. I'd just like to know how much I'm going to be expected to pay, because if I want my work to look the best, I'm going to have to spend money anyway, but it would be nice to know, so I can at least plan for that.
Because at least you know what you're getting yourself in for at the end of the day.
In terms of the films that we've been working on, I guess it's impossible to say how much it's going to cost, but I mean, just a rough idea would help.
They should let you know.
The cheapest places to go to get certain equipment, that would be very useful. I think, as a...
Yeah, well, because we got told it was materials cost and that was it. Once you paid that, your printing was included and everything. Fair enough, your materials wasn't, but your paper and your printing. And all I've seen is the printing inks down in the studio, that's all that's been included.
And they expect as wonderful as possible, so if you can spend $1,000 for a project here also, you're going to be best.
People that can go out and buy all this stuff that can afford to will tend to get better grades.
Not ideal, to be honest. I don't want to get into massive amounts of debt before I've even started the course.
Knowing how much it costs wouldn't put me off coming here, but I'd just like to know how much it costs.
Why do we have to pay extra to be taught professionally? Because surely us paying for the course should cover that.
I do like design and stuff like that, so as long as you know, so you can plan it in advance.
It was my own choice, but I didn't expect it to cost that much, that's for sure.
Because it's expensive enough living in London and paying for travel, paying bills, paying for food, everything. And on top of that, the last thing you want is stuff like materials and whatever that you didn't know that you'd have to pay for.
Even with having to pay for it, it's been worth it. I mean,
We'll have some Martin.
Now that you've seen the video, hopefully you will have seen how disparate the course costs are across the colleges and across the courses, and hopefully you will have also have seen how unaware our students are before they enrol on the course. In the Students' Union, we think it is completely unacceptable for students to have to make such a financial commitment without even knowing what they're getting themselves into. So the Students' Union, backed by hundreds of students at UAL, are calling for all fees to be upfront, transparent and reasonable. We're calling for all compulsory fees to be stated in entry profiles by 2011. We're calling for the average expenditure for the year on each course to be published. We're calling for a breakdown of all compulsory fees so students know where they're being spent. We're also calling for no compulsory fees in addition to those stated in entry profiles. And finally, we're asking the university, in conjunction with the Students' Union, to create a programme that supports students and assists them in finding sponsorship and trains them and provides them with the skills they need to go out and get fundraising for their final films, projects and shows. Thank you for listening.
The best things in life are free.